Well, during the research, I read something about you wanting to that there was a identity of the scene, and that you attach a certain significance of where it all started with.
Yeah, it is no question that EDM has just exploded on a worldwide level, and especially in the United States, North America, it's just huge. It's bigger than hip hop now, But at the same time, there's a lot of people that are kind of forgotten about or have been left out, and those people paved the way for me, and those are the true artists in this culture, I think. Not saying today there's not true artists, but I mean, those are the people who, it's about the art of of DJing and the art of this scene. And nowadays you have a lot of people who they make a hit record and then they have to learn how to DJ so they can play main stage at a festival, and this is the first time they've ever played and they're playing on main stage, and then you have guys who've been doing this and who are like true artists and you can just amazing DJs, and those are the guys that I want to make sure are not forgotten. Guys like Danny Tenaglia, he's a hero of mine, and so many things I've come across in my DJ sets or whatever, and I've always thought to myself, what would Danny do? And those are the guys that inspired a lot of people to get this, and those people have gotten the scene where it is today. So let's not forget about some of these pioneers now that our EDM scene is so globally recognized.
Do you think it's a good thing then that this explosion happened, where there's so many DJs and the market is in a way saturated with...
Yeah, because you know what? With all of this, this new generation has brought exciting new ideas, their own sound, their own attitude, and I love it. Because EDM got, or dance music, or trance, house. It can't just do the same thing. It needs to be, and traditionally, dance music has always been like this, where every couple of cycles, it's flipped upside down on its head, and it's like, wow, and there's been some kind of dance music that came out that was edgy and like totally against what the normal rules were, and that's what happened again, and I think it's exciting. It does keep, even though maybe some of this music isn't my taste, but I'm enjoying watching, everything explode, and I don't know, I feel proud because I'm part of the scene as well.
Does it influence you as well, the new type of music?
Yeah, it does. It influences me for sure. It gives me energy. Anytime that you're inspired, it gives, you're, God, I mean, I don't think Scream 2 would have been, made if I didn't feel this new energy and excitement. I mean, I truly had a lot of fun doing this entire Scream project.
Well, you mentioned this energy and excitement, and also you mentioned Dakota. I think you're a very busy man because you work hard. You release under your own name, under Dakota. You have a city compilation series. You have a radio show. Is it difficult to decide which songs or which direction you will take songs in per project?
No, not really. I mean, because when you're in it, it doesn't seem like I'm busy. When you live this, it just feels like you're waking up and just doing your thing, I don't think about, oh, I got this to do, I got that to do. I just wake up and I'm like, all right, another day, let's go, and when I finish the day, I kind of, look back and I go, I did this, I did that, wow, that was a really busy day, but when you're doing it, it doesn't feel that way. It just feels like a day.
Do you then choose a certain time slot to work on one project, say when you're doing a city project?
Well, what I do is I try and put myself in that headspace, and I know what's on my agenda, what I have to do, but I don't necessarily, if I'm not inspired, I don't just open up the laptop and start working, even though I'm not inspired, because then it's not genuine, I know what I have on my agenda, and when I get to it, I'll get to it. But at the same time, you know, I also understand that, you know, I've got to get to it at some point.
Right.
You know, and even sometimes if you just put in your head, like, yeah, you got this to do over the next couple of weeks, it's like, okay, I know I have to do that. So at some point, it's like, oh, you know what? All right, I'll do it now. I'm really, you know, I got an idea.
But does it occur, does it happen then when you're working on a song and then realize, oh, maybe this is better suited for my own project or for Dakota, or?
Yeah, that happens all the time. I'll make a track. I've got a laptop full of ideas that I, you know, started on for, you know, like the Scream projects. That I was like, maybe this would be better suited for Dakota project. And so, you know, I've got quite a few projects to go back to. And I think any producer has a toolbox of projects that they've started and for whatever reason haven't finished. That's just part of being an active producer.
So there's always songs lingering in the back of your mind.
There's always songs lingering on my hard drive, you know, in some shape or form, some stage of completion, you know, whether it's, you know, maybe 64 bars of melody and groove, or a complete structure, but that, you know, doesn't quite have that magic touch yet. I could go back to at some point when I get an idea for it. But yeah, I mean, pretty much, I mean, there's hundreds of ideas that I have on my hard drives.
Does it happen then that you go back even say 10 years, that there's something on there from 10 years ago and you think,
oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. I mean, you know, but at the same time, it's, you know, I have this one track and all I have of it is the CDR. I've searched for the session for it, and it's this cool breakbeat track. And I just think to myself, like, why didn't I do anything with this? This is really, really, like, it's kind of a special track. But at the time, I just thought it wasn't, you know, didn't resonate with me at the time. So, yeah, I mean, I have files that go all the way back. Okay.
Then there's one more project you're working on currently, which is with Ferry Corsten. When did the first conversation took place between you two about working together?
Yeah, Ferry and I were on a flight together going to Ibiza about 2 years ago, and we talked. You know, on the flight, we're just talking music and everything, and we were like, "How come we've never worked on a track together?" So we made arrangements to work on a track together, and we just had so much fun. You know, we were like two kids in the studio high-fiving, and that's when you know. That's when we knew we kind of had something special, you know. It was like, I'm at a point in my career right now where it's like, okay, you know, forget all the politics and all that stuff. It's, I just want to have some fun again, you know. Right. It's like, for a while there, it was like, gosh, everything's so serious, so political. There's so many, like, wars in the industry, like, let's just have fun, you know, hang out with other DJs and have fun. And this project with Ferry came from that. He's in the same point. He's just like, God, I don't even pay attention to that stuff anymore. I just want to have fun. And, you know, and it worked. It was like organic, you know, we just like, I mean, if you'd see us in the studio, if you just let the camera run in the studio, you would be laughing. I mean, we're like literally like two kids just like, you know, high-fiving each other and dancing around and saying stupid stuff and, you know, and just having a great time.
And then on a musical level, what do you think makes your two styles click so well?
Yeah, well, musically, I mean, Ferry is just, he's really gifted, you know, he's as talented as they come. I mean, Ferry's made some of the most iconic trance tracks or dance music tracks, I should say, you know, of our era. You know, I mean, it's his track record speaks for himself. Musically, it's just really cool to just be in the same room who, you know, gets it as well. You know, and the ironic thing is, if you listen to our tracks, you know, people can say, oh yeah, Markus did that. Oh yeah, Ferry did that. When it's probably opposite, because what happens is, you know, Ferry gets inspired by me, and he like makes something that he thinks I would like, and same thing with me. You know, I'm inspired by Ferry. I'll make something that I think he'll like, and it just makes for this like crazy mixture, and people think like Markus must have done that, and Ferry must have done that, when it's the opposite usually.
Well, doing all these projects, does it make you more free or more bold to take certain risks?
Yeah, it definitely gives you confidence. You know, there's a certain amount of confidence when I'm working with Ferry that, you know what, we can take more chances and try something a little bit different, because at the end of the day, you know, it's the two of us, and if we're in the room together and we come up with an idea, you know, if it's really, really crazy and too outrageous, one of us will stand up and say, I don't know about this, you know. I mean, we did do a track. We were hanging out in Vegas together for a couple of days, and we went to a studio and worked in Vegas, and we were trying something, and you know, we're both in the studio jam and having a great time and everything, and then you know, we got back, we left, you know, and went back on tour. He went one way, I went the other, and we were kind of like, yeah, that didn't really work out so well. We probably, you know, and we were kind of laughing about it. But at the end of the day, that's, you know, we had fun, and isn't that what it's all about now? You know.
So I assume it's not difficult to hear when you're working on something. If Ferry says, "Well, that's just not," then it's easy to take because of the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. No. If this would have been, you know, early on in our careers. You know, maybe egos get in the way.
Right.
But we're both at a point where it's like, you know what? It's like we understand egos, and we understand that this is about having fun, and egos should not get in the way of this project, because I think that would cloud what this is really all about. And it's great because there is no ego, and you know, it really feels organic.
I think that's a great note to stop the interview on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, guys.